Hi Virgo, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And if you haven't got it yet, your winter solstice alignment activation session is waiting for you in the description box below. So before we start, as always, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So nice little energy shift there. All right, so your message for the week, I'm doing these slightly different from now on, was Dynasty. And what I kept seeing, and I asked, you know, is that the right word? Is that what you're showing me? Yes, it just kept saying Dynasty, Dynasty, Dynasty. And what I saw was a purple cloak, right? Purple represents royalty. And when you see the dynasty, what does that mean, right? What does it represent? Well, a dynasty is it's a succession or a procession of successful people within one family, right? So what this is basically saying, I believe, is this week is the week where you want to cultivate your family, where you want to cultivate your own circle, right? Whatever that means to you, whoever your circle is, whoever your people are, you really want to start looking at either who can do what role best or how you can share responsibilities, power, money, whatever, you know, equally. This is a week for you to really start looking around. Interestingly enough as well, this ties in with the weekly general overview message, which was depend. This is the week where you really look around at your people, at your group, and decide who you can depend on, and ultimately who, you know, what it is that you can offer by the way of dependence for other people to depend on you. This is about building a dynasty, right? And this is the week where you're going to really start to ask yourself, how do we do that? How is it that we're going to maximize all of our results together? So your destiny card for the week ahead is Temperance, right? So how, interestingly enough, the way that you're going to approach this is by removing what is superfluous and asking yourself, where do you go from here, right? The Temperance card represents the sign of Sagittarius, so it always looks for bigger and broader. It's about taking whatever ideas you have now and expanding them beyond what it is that they currently do, or whatever it is that they currently offer. The other thing with the Temperance card as well is it represents that process of alchemy. So there's something in your midst. It's almost like this week you're saying to yourself, you know what, something that I'm doing could be so much bigger and better than it is. And you're finding the ways this week to make that happen through the support of the people that you are aligned with, associated with, possibly even related to, right? So let's give it some context. What does the direction have to say this week? And this week you got the Ace of Wands, right? Writing, communications. And the thing is, when I say writing and communications, it's not necessarily like with the Ace of Wands, it's more the creative side. So it could be a book, it could be a blog, it could be a newsletter, right? This is about whatever it is that you're doing now, whatever idea it is that you have that you're working on, it needs to be bigger. The direction card, the Ace of Wands, says get started. Get started now. Now is the time for you to start moving. Now is the time for you to start making something happen. It's a good time for you to get started this week in particular. And I say this week in particular because Mercury goes retrograde on the 31st of October. And which means he'll be going into shadow in the middle of the month. If you haven't got it yet, your retrograde survival kit, shameless promotion, you can get it for $19.99 versus $39.99. And it's currently, you can get that in the description box below. So with that said, your insight card, what is coming in? Yeah, so it's important that you get it done. Whatever it is that you're doing this week, start it this week. because there's no retrograde energy around apart from the Uranus retrograde, right? But it's not such a big deal because it's a long-term transit, that one. So with that said, your insight card is the Magician. I mean, this is writing things, it's creating things, it's a blog, it's a book, it's you getting your message out there. So for a lot of you, this could be a spiritual idea. It could be an idea where science meets spirituality. What is a magician? A magician is a scientist and a craft artist, right? As somebody that mixes magic and science together, in my humble opinion. So when I see this is really exciting because it suggests that you're bringing the spiritual world and the actual, you know, the tangible world. In some way, you're finding ways to align them, but you have an idea, and it's almost like it's in its infancy. It's in the concept, but you haven't quite started down the path to making it real. This is the week to get started, and even if it is just the foundation steps that you take, get started this week, because then that way it's free of the Mercury retrograde energy. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.